Fear would have me not make this video right now and talk. Fear would have me stay silent. But I'm in a season in my life where I am rejecting fear. I'm letting go of fear and anything else that has hindered me in the past from just being my greatest self. And really, the biggest thing is just making an impact and being impactful in this world. A lot of people are aware that my husband passed away a year now, actually, last September. What a lot of people don't know is that he suffered with mental illness. And I didn't expect to make this video at all, but I just learned earlier that September is actually Suicide Prevention Month. And my husband committed suicide. It's nothing that I've ever really talked about, and it's nothing that I really planned on talking about. But at the same time, I feel like that I have a responsibility, to talk about it, if even just to save one person's life, or just encourage someone else to help save a life. You never know what people are going through. David, nobody would have thought that he struggled with the things that he struggled with. And so from the moment that I met him, I knew that he had the struggles that he had, and he fought really hard for years. And we tried to get him help, especially closer towards the end. But my point is, you just never know. You never know what somebody's going through. They might look like they have the perfect life. They might look like they have it all put together. You just never know. And so with that, I feel like we have a responsibility just as human beings, just to love more. And I say it all the time. And I don't make a lot of videos, but when I do make videos and when I do talk, I kind of speak a consistent message. And it's really just about loving more and just being more mindful. Like the biggest thing is just being more intentional. Be more intentional about your words. Be more intentional about your actions, because people are affected. People are affected by you, and especially those of you, there's some people who that you have an impact on people. Like, that people listen to you. That you might be that person that people call you for advice or look to, for, an encouraging word. Don't take that lightly. And the biggest thing that I could say is, I know that a lot of times people even say, check on your strong friends, and that's a very true statement, because I think of a lot of times about the statement, or it's the saying, it says, because people always come to me like, Tiffany, you're so strong, you're so strong. But there's a saying, and it says, just because she carries it well doesn't mean it's not heavy. It's valid when people say check on your strong friends. But I'll take it a step further, and I'll even say check on yourself. You know what I mean? Like, take time for yourself. We have to protect our space and protect our peace. It's really what's going to get us through in this day and age. There's so much going on. Obviously, mental illness is a real thing. It's real. And I don't want anybody to have to relive this. If I could ever, like I say all the time, just encourage one person, you know what I mean? Like, just keep going, keep fighting. Those things that you're facing today that seem so hard, next year, this time, you can be like, what was that I was upset about? Or what was that? We can all attest to it. I have so many moments in my life where I just was like, oh my goodness, I'm at my wit's end. And I thought things were just so horrible. And now today, I can't even recall what, you know, I was even so down and out about. You know what I mean? And so I'm just saying this to say, guys, like, I love everybody. If no one has told you today, and as corny as it sounds, and I say this and every time I talk, and I'm going to keep saying it, like, I love you. You know what I mean? No matter where we are, no matter if, no matter what your position is, what your religion is, what your sexual orientation is, I don't care about none of that. The only thing that I want to do out here is love, because I feel like it's not enough of it. We just got to become more human. We're being so desensitized by everything that's going on. Like, the media has us so desensitized. Like, everything is just so regular. I mean, murder now is regular. Like, I remember I could never imagine seeing someone being murdered or watching a video, and now it's just so regular. We see it, and so now it does have an effect on your mind. Protect your peace. Something might happen in your life, and you're like, oh my goodness, why did this happen? You have to remember that not every open door is a good door for you to go through. So sometimes doors are closed, and they're closed in your favor. Even when adversity comes, even when challenges come, try your best to look at the fact that maybe there's something better on the horizon. Maybe, just maybe, there's something better out there for me. Maybe there's a better plan. And I can assure you that most of the time it is. As sure as you're a good person, as sure as you have a good heart, I believe that those good things will be returned to you. But you just got to keep fighting. You got to stay strong. I thank everybody. I have people who reach out to me. Someone just reached out to me. And I didn't even know her and personally. But she had met my husband and I years ago, and we impacted her to where she never forgot us. And she called me, and she did ask. She said, well, can I ask you? She told me how she met us. She told me, how beautiful she thought the family was. Then finally she said, well, can I ask, how did your husband pass? And it caught me off guard because I don't talk about it a lot. But I just told her, and she just bust out crying. Cried and cried and cried and cried. And she shared with me that she too suffers from mental illness. And so the rest of the conversation I tried, and I, tried my best to pour into her, For me, it was a big moment just to encourage her, as hurtful as it is. I believe that he's at peace. But I would always say to anybody, let that be your last. That's not even your last resort. Because I think as horrible as 2020 is, I wouldn't want to miss this for the world. I just, people are like, oh, 2020. But guess what? I am grateful that I made it to 2020. And so had those hard times that happened in my life, had I succumbed to those challenges and, done anything to myself, I would not be here to even talk to you today. I would not be here to see my children grow up. I would not be here just to experience all of the great experiences that I've had thus far. You know what I mean? So you're here for a reason. I just want to, encourage you that your life does have purpose. If anybody is watching this video and you question if you have purpose, and you question if you have meaning, and you question what is it all for, just know that you are important. Know that your life has purpose. Know that there is someone who is counting on you, and just know that there is someone that loves you. Thank you guys for watching and listening. I'm very appreciative of it, and just know that this was a big moment for me, because I'm a private person, but I do realize that I have a responsibility. There is more to my story, that maybe I'll share one day. There's more. Just know that. And maybe I will at some point share, but anything that I share is just to encourage and just, sometimes you see people. I'm the type of person, I don't like to step down to a challenge, right? So if somebody's doing something, I'm like, oh, wow, okay, it can't be that hard. If they can do it, I can do it too. You know what I mean? So even if you got to look at my life as an example and be like, well, her life is falling apart. But if she can do it, I can do it too. I can, even if you use me as that example, and I'm just saying that to say, because I don't at all believe that my life is falling apart, but what the point that I'm making is, how they say there's always someone worse off than you. There is, but I struggle with that too, because sometimes, especially when someone's going through, I don't think that that's necessarily what they need to hear. Because, what you're going through might seem like the biggest thing at that moment. So the biggest thing that you can do is encourage. But just know, even that you can make it. Let's just be great together. Let's try to love more. Do your part in just making this world a better place to be. Let go of the grudges that you have. There are people that you don't like and you don't even remember why you don't like them. Let it go. It's not, none of it is worth it. It's just not. And we have kids. I have sons that I literally tell people all the time, like, I need this world to get better for my babies. I hope I didn't scare nobody with the title. Sis is all right. She gonna be around for a while. I'm good, y'all. But thank you for, checking in and just listening to what I have to say. And let's just continue to be great together. And if anybody, I say this all the time, and believe it or not, some people have actually reached out, but I'm always here. Like, I'm a listening ear for anyone. Like, even if we've never talked before, like, I promise you, like, I am happy to, just encourage. It's something that I love to do. I just love to encourage, and I love to just be a light. And like I said, just be impactful. This is the last thing I'm gonna say, because as I say this word impactful, I just think about just a few weeks ago that I went to the homegoing service of someone who was very dear to my heart, and that's Nana. That's Mother Weatherby. And let me just tell y'all, we did not have so many encounters. But the one thing I said, and I told this to my dad, and he's watching, and that's a big deal because he don't really be on here like that. But I said Nana was impactful. The times that I was in her presence, she made me feel just so important. When I went away to college and felt alone and I was homesick, she took the time out. And I think at that point I had only met her in person one time. So I didn't even, like, it was just so crazy because, like, she sent me a care package. And when I tell you, like, it meant the world, I was just like, oh my goodness. And, like, she sent me a few while I was in college, but I just will never forget that. And so I'm saying this to say, like, from her, I just remember at that young age just learning, like, wow, I want to be that for somebody one day. When they're least expecting it, or when they're having a bad day. Sometimes you have the mind to call somebody and you're like, oh, I got to do this, and you don't call them. But then something happens later that day and you're like, oh, or you might hear their name in some news and you're like, darn it, I meant to call them. Follow your first mind. When God places in your heart to do something for someone, or to, even if it's a small gesture, he might say to you, give that lady $10. I don't know what it is, but just follow that, because you never know. It might literally change the fabric of that person's life for the better. And so just know that you are more impactful than you might even believe yourself to be, but you have to trust yourself. And someone told me that yesterday, because one thing that I do is I second guess myself a lot. And so even in making this video, I was like, oh, should I do it? Oh my goodness, no. Oh, but I decided, again, I'm letting go of fear. And so I decided, you know what, I'm just going to do it. What's the worst that's going to happen? Okay, great. We're live now. There's no turning back. So just go with it, guys. Just go with it. Be impactful. Live to change someone else's life. Live to make someone's day better. And just really live to say, you know what, I'm not just living to exist. I'm living to actually do something in this world for this short period of time that I'm here. I am being intentional about my purpose. And that's it. That's it, guys. And that's going to be the final close to this sermon. I love everybody, and thank you so much for listening. Stay strong. You got this. Call me, text me, message me if you need a word of encouragement. and we're in this together.